Hello, everybody. This is Apba Bryant at Apba Baseball Classics, bringing to you the final NFL Week 18 picks show and calling this Scoreboard Watching Sunday. There are 2 open playoff spots in the AFC, and there is 1 open playoff spot in the NFC. Number 1 can change hands in the AFC. So there will be some scoreboard watching also for the draft as well as the playoffs. How you doing, Justin?
I'm pretty good.
Good. So I'm joined here today with my son, Justin Neely, and my son-in-law, Dan Mattingly. We do these shows separately because Justin works nights, and then we just splice Dan's picks in with our picks. First up is we're going to use retro helmets this week, Saturday. I put up a arts and crafts helmet show yesterday, and I have all the NCAA helmets. You might say I need therapy. I understand. Anyway, I do have an obsession for gumball mini helmets. And so retro helmets today, we got the Dallas Texans up with the Denver Broncos Laughing Horse helmet of the early 60s. Denver is 7-9. They're out of the playoffs. But Kansas City is trying to get into a number 1 spot. What do you think, Justin?
Well, we're going to need an upset from the Texans if we're going to get there.
Uh-huh.
But as far as on our end of it, I expect us to play very motivated this week. And I think we're going to beat Denver even more than we beat them the first time. Basically, because our whole team is not very happy about last week. I think our offense let us down in the second half. Although they didn't give much time, they only had 3 possessions in the second half. Our defense let us down, and I think our coaching staff majorly let us down last week.
Yeah, not putting a shell coverage out for a 3rd and 27. That's just inexcusable.
Yeah, or just recognizing that every little call is going to go against your team. So why are you going to try and resist 7 goal line plays? Why don't you just let them score and get the ball back with 2 minutes for Mahomes? But anyway, I expect this to be a blowout. So I'm taking Kansas City.
Gotcha. I'm picking Kansas City as well. Denver has never beat a Mahomes-led team. I think the Chiefs hold 12 straight victories over the Broncos. There was a long period where the Broncos were beating the Chiefs, especially when they had Peyton Manning and some guys like that. Early years, the Chiefs dominated Denver with Dawson. I saw a stat that he beat them 22 out of 25 times, and he dominated the Dolphins like Mahomes is dominating. I think Kansas City will win. We're joined now by Dan Mattingly, my son-in-law. He's been with us all year long. And we are filming separate times for my son and Dan because of the work schedules. But we'll intersperse Dan's picks with mine and Justin's. I used the retro helmets this week. And it's my last chance to do that. Playoff picture should come into focus better. There's still some loose ends. And so we're calling this Scoreboard Watching Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
First game is Kansas City at Denver.
Well, they didn't do us a favor moving this game to the early slot. We were looking at an opportunity to watch and see if the Texans could dust the Titans for us and maybe make a decision on who to play and who not to. But I think they'll go into this game and probably want to keep that 2 seed. We'll have to see, though. This is the hardest week of the year to pick because you just don't know what the teams are going to do. I'll take Kansas City. I think that Denver's in a tailspin.
I think Kansas City's going to play their starters, so I got Kansas City too. Next game, that's a Saturday game. And the other Saturday game, it's kind of unfortunate that this is in a primetime spot because it's really looks like it's going to be more of a preseason game than anything else. We have the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Those are bold words there, calling it a preseason game.
I think both teams have already said they're not going to play their starters the whole time, and there's a possibility they can play next week as well in the playoffs. The last thing they need is an injury. I think the starters will. They might go a couple drives just to stay tuned up, but I don't see them playing the whole game.
Okay, well, so I guess both teams don't really have much to play for as far as positioning then.
I don't think so. I think the Cowboys. Yeah, the Cowboys can't. They could possibly get to number 2. They can't get number 1. Philadelphia. Let's see what they're playing for. Yeah, the Cowboys have clinched the Eastern Division title. The Eagles already have a playoff berth, so they're not playing for much.
Mm-hmm. Well, 2 seed can be important. They could potentially play a weaker team in the first week.
They're going to want to protect Dak Prescott.
True. Philadelphia, they'll want to protect their guys as well.
Exactly.
I kind of don't really know what to expect with both these teams putting their backups in. I think Dallas, they probably have a better receiving core. So I guess that would come into play maybe in the first quarter. Well, this is just a toss-up.
Yeah.
I'll just go with Dallas.
Okay, I'm going with Philadelphia because Dallas has not beat a winning team since October. So, they keep talking about, the people around Dallas. They think, oh, we got a Super Bowl team here, and then they lose these disappointing games against winning teams. So I'm picking Philadelphia. Next game is Dallas at Philadelphia, and Justin and I are sort of treating this like a preseason game.
Yeah, this is going to be entertaining. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know who's going to play. I don't think either team really cares to win this game. I think if we're picking backups, I think I'll go with the Eagles on this one.
Gotcha. Eagles.
Hey, I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Cincinnati at Cleveland.
Oh boy, Cleveland. You guys have the best running backs in the league, and you're just consistently not really using them as effectively as you could the last few weeks. Baker Mayfield continues to not be very strong with his passing game.
He's not playing. They're holding him out. They're looking for him to get surgery as soon as possible. They already said he's not playing.
Oh, okay. Cincinnati, I think they're still trying to stay on top of on their division, right? Because have they already clinched that?
Let's see. Cincinnati has. They're playing for a number 1 seed. If Cincinnati wins and Tennessee and Kansas City lose, plus New England lose or tie, they could be the number 1 seed.
Interesting.
Yeah. But by the time they play, they'll know because Kansas City game will have been played already.
I think Cincinnati's going to want to go into the postseason feeling good about themselves. So I think they have the better team all around. And so I'm going to go ahead and pick Cincinnati.
Okay, I'm going to pick Cleveland because I don't think Burrows is playing if the Chiefs win, and I think the Chiefs are going to win. He's been sacked 51 times, which by 11 sacks is the most in the league. So
Yeah.
there is concerns about keeping him healthy for the playoffs. They also have 6 starters on the COVID list right now, including the running back Mixon just went on today. So they could be without, they'd probably be without Burrows and Mixon both. So I'm picking Cleveland.
Okay.
Cincinnati at Cleveland.
So Burrow and Mixon are out with COVID.
Oh, Burrow too. I knew Mixon.
Yeah, Burrow too.
They were going
But that gives us, what's that?
I didn't think they were going to play him anyway because they're not playing for a whole lot, and he's been sacked 51 times, so injury concerns.
And Zach Day treats him like a crash test dummy. Like, what are you doing running your quarterback at the end of the game after he's taken that many hits? That's why you pay the running backs. He looked bad at the end of that game, but
knocked his nameplate off.
What's that?
You knocked his nameplate off. Did you ever see that?
Early. I was surprised they never tried to put it back on. But it's a battle of backup quarterbacks. I think that I'll take the Bengals in this one, but I don't really have a feel for this game at all. No, I'll change that. Let me get the Browns. I'll take the Browns.
Browns. I'm on Cleveland also. Justin has the Bengals. Okay, we got Green Bay at Detroit. I don't have a retro Green Bay helmet. They've been the same all now through the years, pretty much.
I think Green Bay can beat Detroit in their sleep.
Okay, this is, I would say, not so fast. Because Roger says he wants to play, and I think he will start, but I don't think he'll play the whole game. And Detroit, they show up every week, pretty much. You know, Devontae Smith will be there. You know, St. Brown will be there. They're going to give it their best effort to finish the season out. Well, it's at Detroit. I think Green Bay is going to win, but this game could be interesting. I think it's going to be Jordan Love quarterbacking for Green Bay. So we'll see.
Okay.
Chicago at Minnesota.
You can tell I was a split decision on that last one.
Oh, wait a minute. There's one for that. Green Bay at Detroit. I'm sorry.
Okay. I know Green Bay's not playing anybody, and Detroit's probably not really trying to win. I know their management probably hopes they don't. Jordan Love is pretty bad, but whoever the Lions line up is pretty bad too. Give me the Packers in this one with not a lot of confidence.
We all have the Packers.
All right.
Next game is Chicago. I got the Gale Sayers 63 Chicago helmet against the Minnesota Vikings.
Kirk Cousins is looking like he's going to be back this week.
No, it said today. He came off the COVID list today.
Yeah, and Chicago, their offensive line isn't going to protect their quarterback, whoever it is. Minnesota's had a rough last few weeks. I expect them to try and finish the season out strong, and I don't think Chicago cares. I'm picking Minnesota.
Well, I think both coaches are playing for their jobs. Both coaches are concerned about Monday announcements. Minnesota, They will have Cousins back. I think this game will feature Montgomery against Dalvin Cook. Both teams have good running games. I think the difference is Minnesota's receivers are way better than Chicago's. So I'm picking Minnesota. No, Chicago, Minnesota.
Well, Minnesota is going to be probably making widespread changes after this, and Chicago's looked good the past couple weeks. I think Chicago will take them in this one. Andy Dalton's playing as well as he has since he was a Bengal.
Cousins is coming back this week. He's going to play. Let's see. Now, you're down with Chicago.
Mm-hmm. And Montgomery looks right for the Bears, which hadn't seen for a good chunk of time since he got hurt early in the year.
Could be a battle between Montgomery and Cook.
Right? Yeah, that would be something to see.
The Washington football team and New York Giants.
Okay. Interesting fact I heard about Washington. They're going to announce their new team name coming up in February.
February 2nd. Yes.
Yeah.
I guess they put it to a fan vote or fan suggestions, and they whittled it down to 3. They haven't hinted what 3 they are. Personally, I think they should just blow it up. We'll see what Dan has to say. But I think they should just blow it up and change the colors, change everything, make it something Washington Central.
That'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Giants, their offense is very challenged. On the Washington side, McLaurin's 40 yards away from a 1,000-yard season. And I think the Giants probably want to tank for a better draft position. So I'm going to pick Washington to win.
Yeah, I think Joe Judge is another one of these coaches that's going to have a pit in his stomach through Monday, waiting for the announcement. So he's coaching for his job probably. But I think Heineke is pretty good. They were disappointed for a few weeks, but I think they were better last week. Stadium wasn't better. The stadium almost killed Jalen Hurts with the railing falling out. It's about time to probably replace that stadium. They've had sewer problems there, and now the railing breaking and dumping a bunch of fans on the field in the tunnel. Yeah, I'm picking the Washington football team. We got Washington football team is getting a new name February 2nd. And the Giants. You got any thoughts on the new name?
No comment. They'll botch this too.
They really need a new stadium also.
Right. Yeah. One that doesn't collapse on the opposing team's quarterback would be ideal, I think. I can't believe none of those guys stayed on the ground and tried to get some money out of that. They popped up and wanted autographs. It was incredible.
They weren't thinking fast enough.
No, obviously. You could have won some of Dan Snyder's money on that. But I will take Washington here. I think the Giants are the worst team in the NFL.
Even with Jacksonville in the NFL?
I think that the Giants, I saw when I was doing a little bit of research, had negative 25 yards passing last week.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how you do that. But it's Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm, and it's bad. They're not very good.
Next game is the Indianapolis Colts at Jacksonville Jaguars. Indianapolis is playing for a playoff berth, and they need a win or tie, and then they need the Chargers loss or Baltimore-Pittsburgh tie, or Chargers loss and Pittsburgh loss in a Miami win. So they're kind of up against it, but they could make the playoffs. They will be motivated to try and win.
Yeah, that was a real tough loss for them last week. I expected their offense to do a little better than they did. But they'll probably bounce back against Jacksonville. Jacksonville can't really put points up, and they're also probably playing for a better draft position. So I'm picking the Colts to win.
Okay, I'm also with the Colts. Of course, Jacksonville's coaching job is open. They're already conducting interviews. They've done 2 or 3 so far. And they're doing interviews pretty much daily, hoping to come up with a decision by Monday. Indianapolis Colts, Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'll take the Colts here. I think that they're going to want to win one going into the playoffs to give themselves some momentum. And the Jags are right up there with the Giants for bad.
It's not sure the Colts are going to the playoffs. They're going to have to win. Next game is the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay, Baltimore played a good game against the Rams. They lost it late. Pittsburgh, they dominated Cleveland. Although Ben Roethlisberger didn't have much to do with that. It was pretty much Harris and then their defense.
Well, it's still a wonderful ending for him, especially the way the game ending. That was very emotional. It was classic, I thought.
True. I think Baltimore, they're going to be very one-dimensional in this game. Pittsburgh's got a pretty bad run defense, which kind of makes this tough to pick. However, with the defensive line performance I saw from Pittsburgh yesterday or last week, I think if they can do about 60% of that, I think it'll be enough to take care of Baltimore. Their receivers are struggling, except for their tight end, really. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Pittsburgh. I think Harris is going to carry them to the victory and their defensive line.
Okay, I'm picking Baltimore. I know TJ Watt had a great game last week, which surprised me based on what he did against the Chiefs with those broken ribs. He got 4 sacks last week. If he gets two this week, I think he'll set an NFL record. And think of the people he's beating. You know, people like Derek Thomas and Lawrence Taylor and all the greats of the past. He's really had a season.
Yeah, those people are legends.
Yeah, and TJ Watt is going to be highly motivated this week. Baltimore, though, I think is just a generally better team than Pittsburgh is. It's easy to pass on them, but if Pittsburgh had a better quarterback or somebody who's more on top of his game than Ben right now, I would probably definitely pick Pittsburgh, but because of the challenges that Baltimore secondary is having now. But I'm kind of taking Baltimore. They can clinch a playoff berth. They're 8-8. If they win and the Chargers and Colts lose and Miami loses or ties, they're in. So they've got a lot to play for.
Pittsburgh's not out of it either, though.
No,
right?
no, Pittsburgh is actually equally motivated because they'll clinch their berth if Indianapolis loses and the Vegas Charger game does not end in a tie.
Oh, Indianapolis isn't going to lose.
We'll talk about it when we get to the Vegas Charger game, but that game is interesting. There's a scenario where if they tie each other, they're both in the playoffs.
Oh,
So there's questions
wow.
whether they're just going to come out there and take a knee 50 times each. So you're picking Pittsburgh. I'm picking Baltimore. Tennis. Next game is Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
Baltimore looks a little lost. They've just sustained so many injuries this season that I don't know what they're going to be able to do. I like Pittsburgh to send Ben Roethlisberger out with another win. It's not going to be pretty though.
That was a fun game last week.
Yeah, it was.
Watching that.
Good to see.
Pittsburgh.
That's a cool helmet. I like that.
Yeah, that was, I think that was early 60s. Yeah, late 50s maybe. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
See, Houston. I got the old 1960 Oilers helmet. It's one of my favorite helmets. And the 62 helmet. Houston Texans. And, Oilers are the predecessors for the Titans. Everybody knows that, but just make sure you know it.
Mm-hmm. I think Tennessee's going to win. They're trying to secure that 1 seed. And that's a big deal, having that 1 seed. It means you only have to win 2 weeks and then you're in the Super Bowl.
Especially a big deal for Tennessee because that gives another week for Derrick Henry. If they have to play the first week, I think Derrick Henry is going to be playing, but they'd probably rather see another week later if they can get it.
Yeah. So they've got every reason to play their best. And Houston, they came up with a big win against the Chargers. It came out of nowhere, but last week they kind of went back down to earth, only scoring 7 points and having all kinds of problems with their offensive line and with their defense. So yeah, I'm picking Tennessee.
I got Tennessee as well. Foreman and Hilliard have really replaced Derrick Henry. They're not as explosive as Henry, but they're pretty reliable and they're getting yards. And Tennessee has not had to change their offense. Houston has, in recent weeks, excepting last week, has shown that they are capable of beating Tennessee. And I am praying.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, the Chiefs needed a miracle a couple of years ago when Miami beat New England, gave us number 1 seed. So we're hoping for that same kind of a miracle. But we're both picking Tennessee. The Titans and the Texans.
Well, I know what my wishful thinking pick is, but
yeah, we're praying for that wishful thought.
Right. So it's the last week. I'll ride my rooting interest and pick the Texans here. Why not?
Get some mojo going.
Yeah, why not?
Justin and I took the Titans. This is their previous.
Oh, the Oilers, yeah. Baby blue.
Next game is Atlanta at New Orleans Saints.
This is a tough one to pick here. Isn't it New Orleans at Atlanta? I think Atlanta's the home team.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I got that backward. That's true. I had it set up right in the first place. Yeah, New Orleans.
Well, New Orleans, if San Francisco loses, they can still make it to the playoffs. Their offense got a little better last week. Taysom Hill had some success in the passing game. He's going to have time back there this week. Atlanta's got a pretty bad pass rush. They do have a good secondary, though. Their corner Terrell is fantastic.
He's good, but I'm not impressed with the rest of their secondary. I mean, it's like they're giving up almost 250 yards passing a week, which is a little bit below average, I think.
I think it balances out a little bit because of how New Orleans is challenged in their passing attack this year. And Atlanta's also, other than Terrell, a little bit challenged. And Atlanta's run defense isn't great either. I think Taysom Hill and Kamara can find some success. So I'm going to go ahead and pick New Orleans. They've got more to play for. Atlanta's already out. And the things I just mentioned. So
Yeah, I'm picking New Orleans also for the same reason. They got a lot more to play for than Atlanta does. Matt Ryan will probably have a good day, but Taysom Hill and the running game for New Orleans should have a good day too.
Mhm.
Falcons and Saints. Falcons are home. Atlanta.
Falcons are home, right? Yeah. Even if the Falcons are home, I will take the Saints. I hate picking the Falcons to win anything. They always mess with me when I do. And I think Pitts is going to be out, right? He got hurt in the last game.
Okay, didn't know that. We're all in New Orleans. Next game is the New York Jets at Buffalo.
Okay. Buffalo, what's their playoff situation? I think they're playing for better positioning, right?
Yeah, I'm getting there. Okay, Buffalo clinches the AFC East division title if they win, or New England loses, or if they tie and New England ties. So that would give them a home game first round, so first week. So yeah, they're playing for something.
They would love to play their first round at home for sure. And I don't think the Jets are going to win. So the Jets did play pretty good last week. That
Wilson is kind of putting it together a little bit there. But again, Buffalo's way better than the Jets, and they've got something to play for.
Yeah.
And they've definitely made an effort the last couple of weeks to run the ball better. And
they did, yeah.
So I think that's a key for them.
It actually kind of carried them last week, their running game.
Yeah. So we're both on Buffalo. Next, the Jets and Buffalo Bills.
I'll take Buffalo here. Even though the Jets look fairly competent toward the end of the year. They've had a good end to their season that kind of gives them some hope for next year. And they draft very well. I mean, those picks have really panned out over the year, but when you're that young, you're usually not very good early. But they're putting them together. I think Buffalo is really going to probably try to win that game.
Yeah, Barrios and Zach Wilson have really developed pretty well, and they have improved down through the year. Buffalo's on a mission, and I think Buffalo will win. So does Justin. This game is San Francisco pulled out the Jerry Rice helmet and the 69 Rams helmet. This is a big game. San Francisco at the Rams.
Yes. San Francisco's got a little winning streak going on against the Rams.
They have dominated the Rams. and they beat them up. I mean, they've been more physical.
Yeah. And earlier in the season, Deebo Samuel went off against the Rams. And I expect that to happen again. I don't think the Rams have really changed much defensively to be able to adjust to that. Trey Lance showed some promising signs last week, and I think he can probably find Deebo Samuel well enough for their offense to put up some points. And their offensive line does a great job run blocking, so they still have that. I think based off of the way San Francisco has dominated the Rams, I'm going to go with them. So I'm picking San Francisco, but I think this is going to be a very hard-fought game, and it's going to be close.
I'm going to pick the Rams. Did they play the Packers last week? Or who did they play?
They played Baltimore.
Baltimore. Yeah, Baltimore. Good, tough, physical team. And I think they know they're going to have to be much more physical. San Francisco just beat them up like a stepchild. 31-10 in November was the score. But now the team knows they've got to be more physical. This has been going on for last four outings. I think it stops here. I think the Rams are going to be taking a serious push to the playoffs. They want to go to the Super Bowl. They need to win this game. Big game here, San Francisco and Los Angeles Rams.
Whew. That's a tough one. And Garoppolo will try to play, right? That's what it looked like to me.
I think they're talking about it, but I am not confident. He's not able to throw the ball. I don't think he practiced.
I've got to take the Rams, even if he does manage to get on the field. Him with that injury, that's going to be tough to overcome. And that's too bad because I've liked the Niners this season. They've put together some very good wins. And Stafford has looked a little shaky, but I will take the Rams here.
Deacon Jones, Merlin Olsen.
Jones, I like it. One of the greatest defensive lines.
New England Patriots at the Miami Dolphins.
Okay. Boy, Miami let me down last week.
No, they just rolled over.
They're done.
Well, I thought it was going to happen. They'd not been beating really good teams. I thought they were due to get smacked.
Yeah, you made a good prediction there. I think New England's defense is too much for Miami. New England's got an excellent corner in J.C. Jackson, who's been having a pretty great season, and Belichick is defensively minded. He gets, for some reason, he struggles against Miami, and this is at Miami. But I think Belichick's going to take this game personally, and he's going to do his best. And the team, they're going to play their best because they're trying to play for playoff position as well to win the division they're in. So I think despite New England's troubles with Miami in history, I'm going to go ahead and pick New England to win this game.
I'm picking New England to win the game. Also, they lost 16-17, but that was early in the season to Miami, and that's when Mac Jones had a very limited offense to work with. Now he's got the whole playbook, and I don't see Miami scoring any points. Tennessee shut down their offense, and I could see New England doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm picking New England. Seattle.
I like New England. I know that Miami's had a lot of success in their building against them, but New England needs it. And man, did the Dolphins lay an egg last week. That was awful. Score 3 points, give up 34. I don't know. I'm on New England for that one.
Yeah, I don't think the Dolphins are going to score many points again. New England's defense is going to be too much for them.
Yeah.
At Arizona.
Okay. Arizona, what are they playing for?
Let's see. Arizona clinches the NFC West. if they win plus the LA Rams lose. So
Okay.
they need the Rams to lose. They're playing at the same time.
Well, that's
Uh,
very possible. What about if is it possible they could be the number one seed if Green Bay loses to Detroit?
let's see. I don't think they can get there. 11-5 is Arizona's record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Green Bay is 13-3. So
Well, yeah, the NFC West is enough, and it is very possible the Rams will lose. And Seattle's been having their issues this whole year, offensively, defensively. I'm going to go ahead and pick Arizona. It's at home. It's the last game of the season. They're going into the playoffs. Everyone in Arizona right now is pumped, so I think they're going to win.
it's going to be an interesting game because Seattle's been running the ball with Penny and doing it well, but Russell Wilson has been saying he wants out of Seattle. Yeah, Seattle's been running the ball well with Penny, but Russell Wilson wants out. So does Pete Carroll give Russell Wilson the majority of the play calls and try to let him shine and have as much fun as he possibly can have so he doesn't leave? I don't know what's going to happen. Seattle should be able to run the ball in Arizona, but Arizona has a lot to play for, so I'm picking Arizona. Seattle and Arizona Cardinals.
Well, Seattle looked like Seattle of old. Russell Wilson was slinging it last week, but I think that Arizona, they've looked a little funny lately. It's a tough pick for me, to be honest with you. Do we know if are they sitting folks, or I've had mixed reports on that one.
Seattle?
For Arizona. I mean, they need the game.
Yeah, I think they're going to play their players, and Seattle, I think, is also. This could be an end of an era for Seattle with Russell Wilson kind of wants out.
Yeah,
I don't know how much longer they're going to stay with Pete Carroll. He's a good coach, but he's up there in age.
Yeah, you're always surprised because he's got so much energy, but yeah, he's getting up there, and he seemed to have kind of lost that locker room quite a bit. I'll take Arizona. I think they'll roll another win out. There we go. I like it.
Carolina Panthers at the Tampa Bucks.
Okay. Does Tampa Bay? I don't think Tampa Bay has a whole lot to play for, right? Because I think they've already locked up their division, right?
Yes. Yeah, they won the NFC South division. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. They might very well go to their backups.
But I think they probably will, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Carolina, with their offensive struggles, I think Tampa Bay's backups can beat Carolina. So I'm gonna pick Tampa Bay.
Sam Darnold is starting for Carolina, but I think Tampa Bay will win also. I'm picking Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, though, they're hoping to get Fournette back for the playoffs, but Godwin's out. Now they don't have Antonio Brown, who's still officially on the roster, even though the coach said he's done. So I can't imagine him playing, but that hasn't been resolved yet officially. Tampa Bay and hosting Carolina.
Well, This is not a hard one. I'll take Tampa. I know they're a little limited on options, but I'll take Brady over Darnold any day.
Peppa.
Ah, the creamsicles. Yes.
Next game is Los Angeles Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders.
All right. This is a great final game of the season.
Yeah.
I think Las Vegas has the better defense, and I think the Chargers have the better offense. This game could really go either way. The Chargers defense, they've got a lot of making up to do. And going into the playoffs, they need a strong performance just for confidence sake. However, they're playing at Allegiant Stadium, and Vegas, they just had a huge win against the Colts, 23-20. I think that the Colts offense, with Jonathan Taylor, that was impressive. How Las Vegas, they kind of they bend but didn't break against Taylor. And I think they can pretty well shut down Austin Eckler, and it'll be all on Herbert and the Chargers receivers to put points up. But Vegas's secondary has stepped up lately, and their pass rush has been pretty strong this whole year. I expect this to be a close game and for it to be very hard fought, but I think Las Vegas is probably going to come out on top, and I'm going to pick them since I went against them last week and I got burned. So I'm picking the Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders, their defense, since they got pasted by Kansas City, 41 points, since then they've been very good on defense. And I'm guessing they've made some changes, maybe made things a little more complex. I have a hard time remember not Biasucci, but what's their coach's name? I keep forgetting his name, but anyway,
Remember,
I think he's auditioning if he can get his team to the playoffs with a win. They'll be 10-7. They'll be in the playoffs. The Chargers, let's see, Chargers are 9-7 right now. They're both 9-7. This is a game that if they tie, they're both going under certain circumstances, other games. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for two teams playing for a tie. But
that would be pretty crazy. 3 teams from the same division make the playoffs.
it could happen. And really, I figured out the records on the divisions a couple of weeks ago. I didn't add last week's results, but the AFC West was up +8 games going into last week, and the NFC West was up 8 games, but nobody else was that good or even close. Like the AFC North was 2.5 up. AFC East was 0, and AFC South was -10. NFC South -10, and NFC East -2, NFC North -7. So both Western divisions have been by far the best this year.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas, they've only scored over 25 points once in their winning streak here. So if Herbert goes off, they won't be able to keep up. But I'm counting on their defense. I think their defense will do it, and I'm picking Las Vegas.
Yeah, I had that thought too, that if this game sort of goes, if the Chargers get up over 4 touchdowns, Raiders are in trouble. But yeah, I'm thinking the way you are here with that defense carrying the day.
And along with the San Francisco LA game, I think this Charger Vegas game is the game of the week.
Yeah, it is. Oh, that's an incredible game. Well, Vegas just they're tough, man. Talking about Waller maybe being back, but I don't know points wise if the Chargers are right, and I think that they will be. I'll take the Chargers, but I think the Raiders will give them a heck of a game.
Justin and I both took Las Vegas. Well, we have the same concerns. If the Chargers go off on Vegas, they're not going to be able to keep up with them offensively. But I think the defense of Vegas will have something to say about it. And we're both on Vegas. It's going to be an exciting week of football. It's unfortunately for you, the Chiefs are playing at 3:25 on Saturday. Do you work Saturday night?
No.
Well, you might think about coming over. Not to that.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe take a nap in the afternoon or something. But anyway, thanks again for joining us. And it's going to be a good week of football. We'll come back for the playoffs also. We'll pick the playoff games as well. But you're rolling right along. You got a 6-game lead on me. If I get lucky, maybe I can go into the playoffs with a chance to catch you.
Are we counting the playoffs too?
Oh, yes, of course. Up to the Super Bowl.
Oh man. All right, well, I'll take it. I won the regular season. That's
Maybe
exciting.
count the Super Bowl for as many points as I'm behind. No, I'm kidding up there. Justin won again. He was 11-5, and we were 10-6. So I'm 6 behind.
Yeah, and I'm far.
I differ with Justin on 4 picks this week. 4 picks. So I got a chance to make up some ground if I have a real good week.
Yeah, let's hope. Fingers crossed. Did you want to pick the title game?
Yeah. Alabama and Georgia. That's coming up on the 10th.
Yeah, be a good game.
That's be
We
Monday.
hope. Yeah. So after watching what Georgia and Alabama did to Cincinnati and Michigan, I mean, I think we got the 2 best teams in the title game for sure. Even though, do we really need this many Georgia Alabama games in a season? Probably not. I've got to take Alabama. You've got to knock off the king before you can wear the crown. Georgia's really good though. I just need to see them do it before I'm confident in that. I think Alabama has the better quarterback by far. And I think the defenses are not that close, but I mean, Georgia's edge isn't as great as we kind of give them credit for based on the last matchup. Who did you take?
I'm also down on Alabama. Of course, I'm concerned about Georgia's size. And I'm not sure Alabama's offensive line is as stellar as it usually is. But Bryce Young, the times I've watched him, he looked like a little mini Mahomes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a little undersized, but I think he'll get away and make some plays. And I can see Alabama's receivers making plays. So, yeah, I think it's going to be Alabama in a close one.
Yeah, I like it. Well, sorry about Michigan. They were great story, and
that pick
would have been
wrong.
nice to see them in there.
They were never in that game.
It wasn't close.
I was counting on their fundamentals and techniques, but they're just grossly they're undermanned. Yeah. Undermanned in that game.
The size and
size, what? Yeah,
the size was startling
was a big
when they lined up next to each other. I didn't give Georgia credit for that, even though I had them on that pick. But man, when they both lined up the first time, I was, this is going to be tough.
Michigan's defensive end, Aiden Hutchinson, will probably get picked by Detroit. I think that's a good, strong possibility, and he'll be very popular in Detroit.
Yeah, it'd be great. Have a kind of a homegrown guy in there sacking the quarterback. they need help on that defensive line, and he'd be a great piece to add.
Yeah, they need help on both lines. They've got some other pieces, but they really need to build up both their lines.
Yeah, the receiver that came on for them was really fun to watch.
Nate Brown.
Yeah, Brown. Yeah, I'm not going to try to say the rest of the name because I'll botch it terribly. But I'd like to see the Lions be good again. That'd be great. Or for the first time ever, maybe.
It's been a fun year of picking, and we're going to pick the playoffs also. Thanks for joining us. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
All right. Well, take care. That was fun.
It was. See you, Justin.